What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nerdgasm, and today we're going to be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s newest episode, guys. So many emotions in this episode, and I can't handle it. I feel it, and it was a lot to take in, guys. We're going to start this episode off the same way we're going to end it, talking about director Mace, and I swear to you, I will try to keep it together, but it was really hard. It was really, really hard, guys. First thing we're going to talk about Mace is that he's an Inhuman in the framework, which is amazing. I love it. He always wanted to be an Inhuman. He wanted to have powers. He wanted to be a hero. And here he's this battle-hardened, amazing, almost Captain America-like hero. Because you got to remember, guys, that's the reason they even asked him to be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place, was that they wanted someone like Captain America to be the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. when S.H.I.E.L.D. finally went public. And in the framework, that's exactly what he is. Even though he's like a little bit darker than Captain America. But he is this amazing, badass, superpowered director. And we see so many instances of his badassness in this episode, especially the scene on the bus where he chokes this Hydra agent out without breaking eye contact. Just savagery. Just the most savage thing ever. How do you do that? How do you not break eye contact when you choke someone out like that? Oh my goodness. And then we get this amazing fight scene between him and May. And he's cracking wise the entire time while also keeping up with her. He's talking about, you couldn't beat us, so you joined us. And it honestly felt like we were watching a pretty decent version of Captain America. He's even from Brooklyn. We even find out in this episode that he's from Brooklyn, just like Cap. So you know what? Kudos to you, Mace. I love you. We love you. You're amazing. And don't ever forget, oh my God, the emotions. Hold on, just... Next thing, we're going to talk about Coulson real quick, and the fact that you have to notice the switch between Coulson and Mace. Like I said, Mace is this whole battle-hardened, amazing director, but Coulson is the guy who doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's also weak, and he's very much untrained, but he's doing his best to try and be as helpful to S.H.I.E.L.D. as he can. He's doing his best to try and give them what he can give them, even if it means putting himself in the line of danger. And that's pretty much what Mace was doing back in the real world. Mace wasn't able to do as much as he would have liked to do, but he tried when he could. Even when he was being tortured, he didn't give up and give in to the people torturing him. He fought hard, he fought back, he even tried to escape. And that was him doing the best he could, and right now the whole thing is flipped with Coulson and Mace, and I love the comparison between them. Also, they love mentioning Hive whenever they can. The whole thing with Coulson talking about how he remembers Ward and he doesn't like him and he gets hives whenever he's around Ward. Yes, we get it, Ward was Hive, ha 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 ha. He also killed a lot of people, so let's also do some stuff about that maybe. And at the end of this episode, we get this really quick flashback to real world Coulson, where May is gonna shoot somebody, and Coulson's just like, snap out of it, May, because I'm an amazing director, and I can act the hell out of things, but I can come out and be the Coulson you remember real quick for just like a split second to tell you to snap out of it. And it kind of works. She doesn't come out of the framework, but she starts doubting stuff, and she starts feeling that things may not be right and that stuff is about to happen, which actually brings us to the thing that I'm kind of really want to talk about real quick, because she didn't get a lot of screen time in this episode, which I'm cool with because of all the other awesome stuff that happened. May goes to Daisy, and May gives Daisy back her powers. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love the fact that Daisy is getting her powers back, and May feels like Hydra is lying to them. May feels like maybe Hydra isn't, the great organization that she thought it was. And finally, she's trying to fight back. So much to the point that she's ready to give this Inhuman that said that she could level the building her powers back. Also, for anybody wondering how May's throwing down the crystal and she didn't get turned herself, you have to remember the reason that happened was because the crystals were unpurified. There were still shards of the original device used to make the Inhumans inside the crystal. The crystal that May had was 100% pure, so none of the shards would explode and hit other people and infect them as well. Now, speaking of May, you guys noticed that she had super strength in this episode. She was fighting with the Inhuman director, and she was doing a pretty good job. What it seems like they made was Daisy's dad's serum. They made the serum that turned him into, the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. It looks like that's what the serum was. And it was probably a much better version of the serum because it didn't freak her all out, turn her into this complete monster. But it was enough to fight an Inhuman with super strength. So that's a nice little callback to, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde formula. Also, when she was fighting Mace, it was just great. Did you see how much she was kicking ass? Like, super strength just came natural to her. Next, let's talk about Fitz. Does anybody else feel like this actor does a great job playing the kind of heartless bastard that we probably always imagined Fitz's dad was? He does a great job. The whole thing. I 100% imagine this is what Fitz's dad would be like, and I'm glad they did it. Also, it's weird how if Fitz's father would have stayed, Fitz would have turned into some kind of evil, heartless bastard. Mind you, he wouldn't have worked for Hydra. I'm not saying he would have worked for Hydra in the real world. I'm just saying he would have used his genius for evil things. He would have maybe ended up with AIM, or maybe ended up with Doom. I mean, I don't know. A father's love in this case would have destroyed the amazing, gentle person that Fitz was. And that hurts me to my core. It really does. Now, before I get to the last two things that made this episode amazing, let's talk about an Easter egg that I actually found. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but when Coulson was on the bus trying to get into the Hydra base, if you listen to Coulson, he says Bakshi news. Now, if you guys remember, Bakshi was the guy that did all that mind control stuff back in the earlier seasons. And at one point, Ward had mind controlled him into being Ward's slave. And then he even sacrificed himself to keep Ward alive. But apparently in this world, he has his own freaking news station and talks about the ridiculousness and the conspiracies and all the fake Hydra news. And when they finally go to rescue the children, it's actually Bakshi's mind control trying to mind control the children. And I knew that they weren't just going to be like, oh, hey, Inhumans, let's wipe them out. No, let's take these weapons, these biological weapons, and mind control them and have them work for us. That would be the smart choice. Take them as kids, mind control them, now they're ours. I knew Hydra wasn't just going to start killing off Inhumans completely. That's ridiculous. It's Hydra, come on. But I love that Bakshi is back and he has his own whole organization thing. Like, he has like a brand in this world with Hydra. Speaking of the things that are messed up in this world with Hydra, guys, we got Trip back. Now, I said in the last episode, we're not going to get Trip back. I know we're not going to get Trip back. And we got Trip back. We got Trip back, and I feel betrayed. I feel hurt. I thought Ada messing with Mack and his daughter was going to be the worst thing that could ever happen. And that's not true. Apparently, them bringing Trip back pisses me off to no degree, way farther than giving Mack back his dead daughter. And when Skye sees Trip, I feel like she's going to break that world in half. Because Trip sacrificed himself to try and save her. I am not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. My emotions could not handle it. I was trying not to lose my shit. And he even has the same backstory with his grandfather being in the Howling Commandos. And it was hard, guys. It was hard to see one of my favorite characters on this show back. Unfortunately, with the return of one of the most beloved characters, for me anyway, that I've ever had on this show, we see something that I was not prepared to handle. We see Mace completely become the hero that he always wanted to be, and he sacrifices himself to save everyone. I wasn't ready for that, guys. I wasn't ready to watch Mace completely just take a building on top of him to save a kid and let everybody get out. And that was just, I don't know what to say about this, guys. Mace finally got what he always wanted, and he had to die in the framework to get it. And Ada doesn't even care. I don't think that Ada cares at all what she's doing anymore. Ada is just doing whatever the hell she wants. She's not even trying to keep him alive anymore.
This is what I meant, you sadistic witch!
I wasn't ready, guys. I wasn't ready to watch Mace die. But honestly, we have to remember that the Patriot finally got to be the Patriot, even if it was in the framework. He finally got to become the hero that he always wanted to be, and he got to die as a hero, and I need someone to keep Ada's head alive somewhere and just torture the shit out of it until forever. All in all, this episode was amazing. This episode had so many character developments. It had Trip coming back. It had Mace becoming the hero that he always wanted to be. Daisy's going to get her powers and finally be Inhuman. And now they also have a way to get out with Radcliffe telling Daisy that there's a back door somewhere that they should be able to find. Now the only people that they have to really wake up are Mack and Fitz, because May's already coming around. Fitz really does seem to be cemented in this whole I'm evil, I know who I am thing. But we're just going to have to wait and see about what happens with that one. I'm really hoping in the next episode we get more stuff because, you know, in this episode we got the whole Bakshi thing, even though Bakshi's been gone for years. I'm hoping maybe we even get a slight nod, like at a Captain Hydra thing. Maybe they talk about Steve Rogers at some point, just in name only. That would be great. I really love that stuff. Let's see what happens, guys. And shout out to Jason O'Mara for just being an amazing actor and his character just being epic as shit. I hope that they just wreck Ada in the face, please, for the love of God. Let me know what you guys thought about everything that happened. What was your favorite part? What was the hardest part to watch? And let's hope that the next episode just brings a little bit more light, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.